Oh, kia ora. I thought today that I would just share with you a bit about my knowledge around personality styles because everybody loves this session when we do it in training. We do it in all of our training sessions. And the reason is that to us, it's a foundational part of any kind of engagement, whether it be face-to-face, online, over the phone, or whether it's through email even, that you can pick up what somebody's style is presenting and then mirror it is really the key to all of this. What I've learned more and more is that as we learn what somebody else's style is presenting right now, today I'm talking about, so because everybody can change their styles, everybody is a bit of all the styles. So we go by what's this person presenting to me today, then I can mirror their engagement, the way that they like to communicate today with me. And that will then strengthen all the styles of me, because if somebody's not my default style, then I mirror them. I'm starting to strengthen all the other styles in me. So isn't that fantastic? That you can be strengthening all four of the styles in you, even when you tend to mainly default to one. So that's why I just love teaching this, because I've seen people transform into all of the styles as they've learnt more and more and read more and more about the way people are presenting to them, and really strengthen their engagement with each person. So it's just a fantastic, we call it a communication superpower, because to me it is absolutely about being able to develop that superpower in you. The way that we teach is that we have two axes, and I'm going to get that we'll put that into the video so that you can see our simple diagram. So we've got two axes, and the vertical axis is the temperature gauge, so how warm or how cold somebody is. At the top being low temperature, so cooler, so colder people tend to be harder to read. They are they're not really huggy people. They're not the people that you turn up and give them a hug, maybe a handshake. They are usually the kinds of people who are much more interested in task and facts as opposed to feelings or sociable thoughts or relationship stuff. So they're much more interested in getting down to business, to talking about what are we here to do, what are we here to talk about. So that's the low volume. They're also low emote, so they don't show a lot of emotion. They tend not to smile a lot, and that's not because they're unhappy. That's because they don't feel the need to smile and make you feel good about the interaction. It doesn't even cross their mind. To them, it's all about, what are we here to do? What's the business, what's the pointy end of this that we're coming to? What's the business part? So that's what they want to know. If you interrupt them, their thought is, what do you want? What do you need? What's going on? Not, how are you? So then on the other end of the axis is the warmer end. So people who are warmer tend to be more focused, as I said before, on feelings, on the relational side of things. How are we going? How are we getting on? Do we have an engagement? Do we have a good engagement? Are you going to be my best buddy? That's what they're thinking, is how good a friend are we going to be? And that's what their engagement's based on. And that's how they build trust. So each of these builds trust in that way. So the cooler, the more down to business you are, the more that low temperature people will build trust with you. The warmer, the more engaging, the more sociable you are, the more that a warmer temperature person will build trust with you. So you can see how important it is to engage in that style depending on the person that you're dealing with. Because if you don't, then you could lose some trust. You could not build trust as quickly as you might. So huge benefits to mirroring somebody's style that they're presenting. The cross-axis, on the left-hand side, that's the volume. So the volume is the axis, low volume is the left-hand side. So people who are low volume tend to talk slower. They tend to hold back. They wait to be asked their opinion before they offer it. They're much more comfortable with that. They'd rather sit and wait to make a decision process before they make decisions. On the other end of the scale, the higher volume people, tend to speak faster, and they tend to offer their opinion without being asked. And they are people who tend to make more impulsive looking decisions, so impulsive type decisions. To them, it's not impulsive. So to them, it's a well worked out decision. It's just quick. We know they make quick decisions. So, but the other end of the scale might see that as impulsive. It's too quick. So you can see the 4 quadrants that are building here. You've got cold and loud, and then you've got warm and loud, and then we have cold and quiet, and then warm and quiet. So that's how you can differentiate what somebody's presenting. Even over the phone, you can tell it. So if somebody is colder on the scale, they tend to be monotone on the phone, and if they're warmer on the scale, they tend to sing on the phone. Welcome to the Great Scott Company. You're speaking with Jackie. How can I help? That's how I'd answer the phone. So that's how you can tell where the 4 quadrants sit. If you look at the model here, what this model presents is what the 4 styles are. So we have ice as cold and loud. We have steam, warm and loud. Water, warm and quiet. And then dry ice, cold and quiet. So if you look at the details on each of those, you'll get to see what the general traits are of each one when people are sitting in their default for each one. Remember that this isn't about boxing people. This is about saying what somebody presenting to me right now. So it's all about people move and in and out of all the quadrants, depending on how safe they feel, who they're around, what mood they're in, how their day's gone so far, how much stress they're under. All of those things impact. How much alcohol they've had can also impact. So that's why people move around, and but they tend to sit in a main default in certain situations. So if you work with someone, you'll get to see that default. They also have a thinking style, which can be a bit more further back. So you tend to see their behavioural style first off, and then as you get to know someone, you'll start to see what their thinking style is, what their kind of task style is. When they're busy on a task, what style do they go into when they're doing that? And people tend to sit in a certain style for doing that. That's their default. So looking out for those is what it's all about. Have a read of our document to see more about this, and you can get that on our website. The link will be in here down below if you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn. And if you're on Instagram, the link's in our bio so that you can read more about each style. I'm not going to go into detail about each style right now. I'm just telling you about how you can tell the different styles. Read more and go into our document so that you can really become an expert and really discover your communication superpower.